Hello, YouTubes. This is Grimweird again. This is going to be the next episode of my Enigmatica 2 expert playthrough on Minecraft. And so, when we left you last time, we were talking about setting up a smelter and doing some stuff like that. However, I sort of mapped out my 3x3 smelter with casting basins and casting tables around it, and even moving the furnaces from this wall over into that cubby. It just was looking a little bit too cramped. You can see we've had time to have our cooked meat turn into leather. So if I right click on the drying racks, I get those out. And now we've also got some jerky here, so we'll have some more stuff to eat. Although the Animania food didn't work, but we did get some beef jerky, bacon jerky, mutton jerky, and chicken jerky. So that will give us some nice food variety. And so then I felt like the smeltery was going to be taking up so much floor space that things were going to get a little out of control. And I didn't really feel like there was a good place to throw one outside. That would have just sort of made things messy. We also got to set up the coke oven, and I didn't want to set that up anywhere out here. So the bottom line is that this fort, while a nice starting spot and a nice maybe surface presence, if you will, is good, we're going to have to, I think, take this operation underground, go all Dwarven on its ass. So turn off the light monitor here. I did see that the beehive with the 8 vanilla flowers, and by vanilla, of course, I mean unmodded original game Minecraft flowers, as opposed to some sort of, other type of flower like a mystical flower, or we don't want the Botania flowers or any canola seeds from Actually Editions. But yeah, just the vanilla flowers. This beehive was moving much faster, but we can take a look at how that works now. It fills up, and then in its last spot, it puts a new bee. You transfer the new bee in, and away it goes again. It's set up for the next round. I have occasionally had bees not show up, but the beehives for Pam's Harvest Craft are pretty easy, pretty frequent world generation. So we got that going, but yeah, the smeltery is just, I didn't really see a good place that made me happy about expanding up here. I am happy with just having this as our sort of our surface base, but this footprint was just too large and cumbersome, so I decided to take things underground. I picked a spot sort of out of the way here. I went down a ways, stopped to throw out a torch, decided to go ahead and make a little escape over into the forest for when I go this direction. Again, that's just sort of an old habit. Always have another way out in case something weird happens. At first I was going to take a look at maybe setting up something just below the surface, and sort of work my way down level by level, floor by floor, almost like a reverse tower. And I wanted to pick up some aluminum, so I'm going to need to do some of that. But as we can see from the map here, when I came down here, it was obvious we've got some action going on here. It's obvious that these rooms appear to be like the rail cave system. So there appears to be some dungeon action over here. This can be both good and bad, right? I mean, it's good in that we want to be able to explore things and kill things, and maybe there's a monster spawner in here, probably a cave spider spawner or something. So that's all good, but it can get in your way when you're trying to actually build a base. So I thought, all right, let's go down a little deeper and see if we can build a base under all of them. So I came down a bit more, stepped into, as I found places where I wanted to mine ore off of my ladder shaft. I stepped in and, checked where we were and see how things were different. I'm still in the sunshine here. You'll notice that I put in a glass skylight at the top of my ladder shaft just to keep things well lit during the day. But here I followed a vein of coal or something. When we get away from that daylight, we can now see that again I've got a cave system. We've got probably what is actually a second rail system down here, maybe, since we're far enough under the other one that this may be a second one. So we got caves and all sorts of stuff that we'd probably have to clean out if we wanted to build something here. So finally I just decided to take us down to bedrock. So Zombie Steve and I came all the way down to bedrock. We were lucky in that we didn't come down in any lava. And we do have some lava lakes, rivers to the northwest of us. And we have some empty caves to the northeast of us. But we do have what appears to be a nice big chunk area here of probably reasonably prime real estate without too much lava to clean up and without any monsters and dungeons and dragons and craziness to do here. So we did a few vein miner strikes into this area, and so far things are looking good. So here's what we got going on. Got a nice tall ceiling so we can put a nice big smelter in here. So it looks like this is where we're going to set up our base. We're going to go all Dwarven here and set things up underground. That's always sort of fun. Harkens back to my original days of Minecraft where basically you built a mine and you set up shop in it. So, the only problems we're going to have with setting things up down in a mine is that we can't take advantage of some of the things like the solar generators and the wind generators and whatnot that you're going to want to put up on the surface. But there are other types of generators that you can use down here which will work fine. And we can always build energy cells and hook them up to generators up at the top for power until we get some Wi-Fi power going. So the black quartz sharpening is working on almost everything. Uranium, platinum, charged Certus quartz. There are a few things we can't mine yet, so we're going to need to work on that a bit. But on the whole, we're able to set things up down here, and I think I will cut away for a moment and continue to work on this and then show you some more once we get a bit more organized. Be right back. And we're back for a moment. I repaired the floor upstairs, doing some vein mining down at bedrock level. I'm quickly filling up on cobblestone, so I got some cooking to return it back to stone for repair jobs and whatnot, and to make stone bricks. I did want to, since all of this is about the Enigmatica 2 Expert 1, I did hit some Certus on my way down there while I was cleaning things up, and I already had some iron ore. So let's go ahead and claim these guys for the Certus quartz. We get to pick some of this. I'm probably just going to grab torches. I don't think I need, I already have a bow and I don't think I need a hammer. And then for iron ore, we can claim a lava clay bucket. And so that's it for this. Also, we did go ahead and make the immersive engineering coke bricks last time and claim that. But now that we've gotten those harvest level updates, we've now opened up some more gates to work on. We're definitely going to want to get into forestry fast and furious because I want to make impregnated sticks. Impregnate sticks with seed oil for the glider, and industrial craft and extra utilities is also going to have a lot of good stuff for us, so that's going to be important to work on. I was taking a look at the rewards here to see if there was some sort of anything I might need immediately, and no, not on those, but yeah, we're going to start working on those in another few episodes. So yeah, we're getting lots of cobblestone. So I want to start laying out our base downstairs. You can see I put up some more meat, which is now turned into leather. That was cooked meat, turns into leather. Um, things are going well downstairs. I did a few more vein miner strikes. Things are still going well down here. Um, plenty of ore down here, so that's good. Lighting it is turning into a pain, but we can work on that. Sort of need to clean things up here, pick exactly where I want to start setting up our boundaries and walls for the base proper, and get the smeltery going. Also need to get some storage drawers going down here because, as I said, the cobblestone situation is starting to get out of hand. I'm having to compress it manually at a table. So we want to get some compacting storage drawers going as soon as we get some iron. So yeah, we'll keep working on this and we'll be right back. All right, a little bit more work. Prepared the floor a bit. I sort of mapped out by these holes where my smelter's going to go. I got plenty of room in the ceiling. I got plenty of room to the sides. So I think that's going to be the home of my smelter. One thing, I am hearing a skeleton in the walls. So if I take a look at, here's ground chunk where I am. And there's some shadow of something here. If that goes up to the chunk Y16 to Y31, I can see this tunnel here. So I've got a tunnel up above us. So starting at right about Y16, so somewhere up in this area, I probably have a tunnel near me and above my base. Not too bad, not a lot of stuff spawning up there, but I just got something to keep an eye on. We're not going to need a much higher roof anyway, but I do not want to have monsters spawning in my walls or too near my base, especially just because Endermen will spawn up there and then teleport down and mess with me. So I'll probably open that up, open up this tunnel and light it, and just so that nothing is spawning up there. So I got room over here for probably the coke oven and the blast furnace. Probably this area here will be a bunch of storage drawers. So I will be right back. I'm gonna make a start on the smeltery, and I'll show you what I come up with in a few minutes. I did have some pieces of uranium right here in the middle of my way. I can't. Those take obsidian, which it takes. First, I got to mine some osmium, and then I got to smelt an osmium sharpening kit, and then I have to dig up some obsidian and make an obsidian sharpening kit, and then I can do uranium. So for the couple of pieces of uranium that were just sort of floating in the middle of my base here, I just beat them to death with my quest book just to get them out of my way. As you can see, it's not like we have a shortage of uranium, so it's okay not harvesting those and losing them. So yeah, let me put together a smelter and be right back, and I will show you its features. And I am back with a smelter, but not here. So as you saw from the footprint that I had before the jump cut, I was, getting all prepped to build my standard 3x3 smelter. I come back from, I started Tinker's Construct back in the old days when it had to be 3x3, and so I sort of got in that habit. But now a few years later, coming back to the game, I thought to myself, they don't need to be 3x3 anymore. I'm playing a bunch of new mods, learning a bunch of new things, having a new experience. I'm going to be getting into a lot of new things, so I should try a new smelter. So I thought a bit about what I wanted. The features I want in a smelter is I want to be able to put one stack of 64 in at a time, so I need enough capacity to do that. I need to be able to output, of course, stuff, but hopefully I'm going to get into more automation, so things like immersive engineering, I can automate some of that stuff. So on the whole, I probably don't necessarily need huge amounts of casting tables and casting basins. And I'm also used to sort of putting that big 3x3 structure out in the middle of the room and sort of making it a centerpiece of the room. but that was back when, you know, that might be one of the few industrial type mods that I even had and that I was using. Now that I've got so many other mods coming along, and I've got power plants to build, and you know, applied energistics, inventory management systems to build, I don't know if I want to have a big old smelter out in the middle of my room. So I tried something different, something new, much like this mod pack and lots of the mods that are in it. So here is my smelter, just to sort of show you what's going on. I made it 2 by 8 by 4. So 2 times 8 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So we should be good to go there. I couldn't get out of the habit of having the controller on the floor, so I did that again. I also like to have some empty windows here to look in, because when I'm standing way back here, I like to be able to tell at a glance if the bunch of ore or pulverized or dust that I've thrown in has finished smelting or not. So I'll be putting lava in the seared tanks, but I'll leave these open so I have a window in there. So I just got back from getting the lava, so let's fire this bad boy up and see how it works. So I did. I got a reward of like a bunch of iron plates. I spent those on a couple hoppers, well, 3 hoppers, because I know I'm gonna need some hoppers. I got one here and one here. So over here I got basins. If I need to just dump a bunch of blocks out, I can turn this spigot on and hopper it out into a chest. If I need to, I'll leave the ingot cast in this one. If I need to dump out a bunch of ingots, I can just go ahead and flip the switch and dump a bunch of ingots out into the chest. And then if I'm doing just onesie twosies or whatever, I can you have more basins and more things here. But I tried to keep the footprint sort of small, so I don't know if I'll be satisfied with this amount of casting tables in particular. But I thought I'd give it a shot, and tried to keep it embedded in the walls so that I can, you know, move on with my room without going crazy. Another thing about embedding it like this is instead of having my 3x3 that's like 8 stories high, this bad boy is only 4 stories high, so I can put a ceiling on this cavern and sort of make this into a 2-story base probably, as opposed to spreading out all over the place with a huge ceiling. So that'll make cleaning up the ceiling and making this look a little bit more neat and organized much easier. But anyway, I'm babbling, so let us go. We're going to get some manual ore doubling here real soon. I think I mentioned already, but the expert pack, the smelter does not double. So if I put in these 4 iron ore, I'm only going to get 4 ingots worth out. I need to actually crush them into pulverized ore, or, you know, iron ore powder, get 8 powder to get 8 ingots. So next time I will show you how I'm going to do that, but the machine I need to do that is going to require 3 ingots, and I also then want to have 1 ingot for a flint and steel to get my charcoal pit running. So let's bop those guys in there. And again, I sort of just like to have a window open, so, you know, I can tell even if I'm back here working on something else, I can glance over and go, hey, is that iron ore done yet? Nope, I can see through the window. It's still working. So yeah, I don't have an ingot cast yet, so that's going to be a problem. I just remembered that. So I'm actually going to have to go ahead and put in 9 ore. So let's just sleep real quick and run upstairs and grab that. the hands-free going up ladders is really fast nowadays. I'm not sure if that's part of a mod or if that's part of the vanilla experience now. Um, but going down still seems sort of slow, which is probably better than crashing into the floor. So I may make some low-tech solution for that, like a splash pad where I just sort of sink a shaft maybe right here, where I just jump down it and land in some water. I could even do it without the water if I keep my slime boots on, but eventually I'll put real armor on my feet. Alright, so we do need to throw in 3 more that are not doubled just to get a block out without dealing with trouble. Yeah, so while that's cooking, next episode we're gonna set up a small plate presser to start doubling our ore. I'll show you how that works. We're gonna show you the charcoal pit, and I'm probably gonna have to do some mining up near the top to look for some aluminum so I can make a bunch of casts and start making more tinker's tools and more stuff. So that's what will be going on next time. We'll just finish this up and see how it goes. Boom. It's been a long time, but I think this works. We're just going to flip the switch, activate that drain. It'll fill the basin. And if I remember correctly, the hopper will suck it out when it's done. Oops, am I one short? No. So while that's cooling, I think the bucket will, or the hopper will suck it out of the basin and throw it in the chest for me. I sort of don't like how this chest looks here, so I think eventually I'll replace this chest with maybe one of those dark wooden immersive engineering chests that is the same size that takes up the whole block. Alright, so there we go. We have iron. Boom. Acquire hardware. Done. So where are we at here? We need to figure out, we need to find some osmium so that we can get up to obsidian. So I might do a little mining between this episode and next. And we need to start working on these gates. So we're going to need gears and bronze. So yeah, we'll make a bunch of casts. I'll find some aluminum. We'll make some aluminum brass casts for things like plates and gears and Tinker's Construct stuff. So that's the direction we're heading. I got to remember to turn that back off. That might get on my nerves. I'll have to look at other ways to do this. I'll probably remember because I've done this in the past, but it's been a long time. But anyway, so yeah, there we go. We have a smelter. And I think it looks all right. I even made a chisel because why not? I'm going to need one anyway. And put some creeper faces across the top of it just to sort of snazz it up a bit. And put some bricks around it because eventually we're going to replace these bare stone walls with some actual nice flooring and ceilings and walls. So yeah, now it's starting to feel a bit like a real base. That's it for now. I will talk to you again next time.